welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together we're working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts I've ever seen.
And today we're continuing our Drew Barrymore month with the glitteriest, sparkliest, 90st Cinderella movie, second most 90st Cinderella movie, Ever After. Because I think the Brandy Whitney Houston one wins.
Wins, yeah.
90s, but this one, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
So good. Lindsay and I were on vacation together, and so we got to watch it in a hotel in Campbell River.
Yeah.
And
during a crazy rainstorm.
Oh yeah, it was so rainy. Like, scary rain. Like, turn up the TV rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. A+. Like, I kind of want to watch it again right now.
I know, me too. I know, my sister and her friends, we were talking about it because her friend was just in Europe, so she thought that she saw parts, mainly like the laundry part from the very end. And then they were like, "Can we watch it right now?" I'm like, "I can't. I have to watch it in 2 weeks for homework."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so good. Inspired so many of my hairstyles. So many, because I mean, my hair is less brown now than it was then, but I had long brown hair.
Yep.
That was like mostly straight, and so doing a little twisty tuck under situation was both easy to do with my hair and my skill set.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely did not wear as much glitter.
No, I don't think anybody ever has.
Yeah, mainly because it would make my skin, or trying to get it off would make my skin be bad.
Yeah. Well, we did notice this time that the glitter actually is in the shape of a mask.
Yeah, it's like the reason it's painted on so harshly is it's trying to be like a masquerade mask
on her face made of glitter, which makes a little bit more sense. And it's been weird. It's weird that I didn't notice that for 30 years, but
it could have been more obvious.
Yes, definitely. And
especially
also,
like
we only see her in that outfit for like 40 seconds because she's there. Henry doesn't listen to her, and then Angelica tears the wings, and then she runs away and is sad.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird that it's... I mean, I get that they wanted to show Drew Barrymore being beautiful and not, like, cover up with a mask, but they could have done just, like, a tone darker or something of glitter, because it was basically translucent / her exact skin color. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just the manner of the television plus the high-resness of Disney Plus,
and
probably.
Like, I definitely saw this movie in theaters, and maybe in the theater I did notice it.
But like, you don't have that memory anymore? Yeah.
Yeah. Because, man, watched this so many times. Like, definitely watched this sleeping over in my friend's dorm room.
Oh, of course.
In first year.
Of course.
Or second year, I guess. Very drunk. Like, a very strong memory of that. Yeah, and then going out. Like, it was our drinking.
You're like, do I have as much glitter on as Drew Barrymore? No, I'm ready.
Yeah, because this would have been, like 2000-ish?
What? Yeah, when you watched it?
Yeah, this exact memory of watching it? Yeah. Yeah, A+. If you haven't seen it for a long time,
do that.
You should watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
My first is in the credits.
Uh-huh.
So that Angelica Houston's name is spelled with a J. Yeah. How did I not know this?
I know. Especially, we've watched this movie so many times, but it's really weird. And I was like, immediately, as soon as we saw that and pointed it out, I went to the internet to confirm it was true. I was like, is there a typo in this 30-year-old movie?
Pretty much. But no, it was right. And maybe it was just the font makes it stand out more than... Because, like, seeing it typed, like, on our document notes? Today, it looks normal.
Mm-hmm. Maybe? I don't know.
Anyways, yeah. What were you going to say? Because I feel like I interrupted you.
I was going to say...
Very important thing.
The basic storyline is the storyline. It's Cinderella. Yes. You don't need to know very much. But it is the late 90s, so Melanie Linsky, who we'll get to, is fat-shamed. And it's to show how bad the stepmother is. Like, she's the only one who does it. I guess the stepsister does too. But she's also evil. But like, it's still like, but what if you did something else?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a step in the right direction that it's the bad guys doing it, but yeah.
And then she ends up with, like, the pudgy, nerdy guard guy because
Yeah.
that's all she can land, I guess.
Yeah.
Because she's absolutely beautiful and not in any way overweight.
And he, like, yeah. It's still, like, just doesn't compute in my brain.
Mm-mm.
Okay. My next note was, when did they invent rock, paper, scissors? And then I forgot to look it up.
Because it wasn't the 1500s. That's my guess. Because scissors didn't exist.
Yeah. Okay. So the first known mention of the game is in a Chinese, like, Ming Dynasty thing about 1600.
Okay.
And who wrote that the game dated back to the time of the Han Dynasty, which could be as old as, like, 206 BCE. But I don't know if it was actually scissors.
Yeah, well, like, they didn't... I don't think they say scissors in this.
Oh, yeah.
They just are using the...
Yeah, the original Chinese game was, like, slug, frog, snake.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
and, like, different symbols. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, sorry, this is, like, the Wikipedia. So, yeah, in terms of it actually being scissors, I don't know. Yeah, and, like, it's had lots of different names over the years, but...
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because rock, paper, scissors...
Yeah.
What was it? Something Spock? I don't remember.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Yep. Friends, there was fire.
Yeah, and then there's like a Japanese version where it's like Kitsune Ken, so it's Kitsune, which is a supernatural fox. There's a village head, and then a hunter. Yeah, I don't know. It's all very confusing. But yeah, it definitely, people in France in the 1500s were not playing rock, paper, scissors.
No, exactly. Yeah, it was like... But it's not as anachronistic as we thought it was, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the moral of the story.
Scissors did exist because there were scissors in Egypt.
That's true. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But I feel like, yeah, they were not very common. Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Anyways, yeah.
Do we have any historians? Tell us about it.
We are definitely not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another note I have is, like, she's got this really great friend group, which is great, which is another reason why I approve of this movie, is that she has friends.
Yeah, they're old lady friends.
They're old ladies,
but
friends. Like, that's her family because of her situation that she's in. But the entire movie, she's like, I just wanted a mother to love me, blah-de-blah, why don't you love me, Angelica Houston? Mm-hmm. And then, but I'm like, but you have two older lady friends who are mothering you. Like, just open your eyes. I don't know.
Well, I think it was also, like, a bit of her, like, internal classism, because as much as she was,
true, yeah,
like, cared for by the servants, and she was then treated by her stepmom as a servant before her dad died.
They were her servants.
They were her servants. So, like, she loves them and cares for them, and vice versa. But she doesn't see them as a mother. See them as a mother. Yeah. And also, being loved by them means that she's not, like, she would only be able to then be a servant, like, if she followed in their footsteps. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that she, at that point, was planning to be a princess, but, you know.
But, yeah.
The bad guy, his name's not Pepe Le Pew, but it's something Le Pew.
Like, I feel like they called him that on purpose. Like, who named somebody Le Pew in the 90s? You know, like, Pepe Le Pew's been around for years. Like, again, not historians.
No. He's super creepy, but it's, Lindsay's like, creepy as F, but so PG, and I would agree. Like,
I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
Because that would have ruined this movie if
because it wasn't
that was
even,
something
like,
we had to deal with. Yeah.
It was very much like,
like,
just come and be my wife and clean my house, and, like, it wasn't at all sexual. It was like, I want a wife to, like,
be a wife.
Probably talked about raising children or something, but it was not like, it was really just like, I need a wife, you're pretty enough, and your mom will pay me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's one of those things now that you think about it that's horrible. Of, like, we weren't, like, he was creepy when we watched it when we were teenagers, and, like, unsettling, but it was fine. But now that we're old and the world is what it is, we're more creeped out by what it means. And we're just like, I wish I retained my PG levels of innocence.
Yeah, exactly. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I talked about the hair. There's so many accents. I can't even... explain, because there's not really French accents, which we'll get to probably for Pi, but like her, I thought it was old her, but it's like her great granddaughter or something who's the narrator.
Oh yeah,
at the beginning has like a French Scottish accent. I'm not really sure.
No, I don't know. And then she's with the Grimms, who are German.
Maybe it's a German accent.
Not German.
No. And then there's whatever Drew Barrymore does with her accent,
which I think is just like posh, like not spice, like, but just posh,
vaguely British, but mostly just like prim and proper, like stereotypical, which like vague, you know, tilts British, but I wouldn't call it a British accent.
No, like I shall try, like that's not British.
Yeah, it's just sort of lilty and it's bad. And then does Melanie Linsky? She does not speak in her New Zealand accent. So
no, I should
think
accent. She's in a British accent because she knows how to do accents. Because
she's very good at accents.
I didn't know she was a Kiwi until like this year. So yeah.
It's always odd when I hear her speak in a British accent. And then Angelica Houston just talks like Angelica Houston, so who knows? Yeah, all the accents.
Yeah, and then like the parents, the French king and queen are British because they're just British actors, and like they probably could have done French accents, but they were like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, like it would be weird if there were some French accents and not all French accents.
It's so weird.
It's
There's
all
like
over the place.
Zero French. You know, if you think about other movies where it's a movie in French, like you get like a little bit of like voulez-vous or hello,
I feel
like anything
English, like movies that take place in England at around this time, like up through like the 1800s, probably had more French because like the royal family and like posh people were French at that point. So like to show how fancy you were like Frenchish. At some points in British history.
It's I don't know. Like it's like why did they pick French? Why didn't they just make them English? I don't know.
Or I guess maybe some of the history. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know enough about the original
story of Cinderella. Maybe it was based on. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but they did actually film it in some French castle places in France, and let's go.
Okay,
it looks beautiful.
Done. I'm in.
Yeah, I think my favorite physical comedy part though is when she is trying to hide her identity because the prince is at the stall where she's selling stuff, and she just throws chickens in his face and runs away.
Chickens are so handy.
So handy, distracting from your hidden identity.
My favorite physical moment is when she's in the water lying on her back and Da Vinci walks by in his water boots.
Yes,
boat
also
shoes.
Good.
And he's like,
his boat shoes.
Looks like rain. Da Vinci.
And I loved, first of all, I love that Da Vinci's in it, which is so random. And like that image of her floating on the water, which was in so many like promos and stuff, but then it like goes from this like beautiful majestic thing to like Da Vinci's water shoes. Boat shoes. Yeah. I was gonna put this in tropes, but I think it's more of an observation because it is like she is justifiably mad at her stepsister. Like so there's like a knockout like girl fight, like stereotypical chick fight. But like it's I mean, fighting is fighting, but like they're not. It's not like you stole my man, blah blah blah. It's like you ruined my life.
Yeah, and destroyed the only thing that
destroyed the thing from that was my mother's, and yeah. I mean, if we started listing all the anachronisms,
we would be here.
This
all
podcast
night.
would never end. But especially having not that long ago watched Bridgerton and blah blah, the whole like they spend so much time just the two of them. Like, without a chaperone, even as, like, a nod to maybe they should have a chaperone. And there's so much kissing.
I know.
Scandalous.
A lot of kissing. She's undressed a lot of the time. Undressed, like, in her, like, full-length undergarments, but still, like, undressed.
Well, then, like, if you compare this to... I think it's probably a little bit earlier, but similar-ish, like, age... similar age and, like... social standing other than the Prince thing is the movie of Catherine called Birdie, which I think is on Paramount, and it's with Bella Ramsey and Andrew Scott. Highly recommend it. And it's much more like historically, I mean, it's not perfectly historically accurate, but it's like in terms of the dress and that sort of like propriety stuff. Okay, anything else before we talk about all the tropes?
I love this movie.
Yes, agreed.
That's
like, I kind of want to watch it again right now.
Yep.
Okay, tropes.
Oh my god, there's so many. I was writing them out today and I was like, good lord. Anyway, so we start with a weird flash forward, technically, I guess, is because it...
Or, like, yeah, it's framed with a, like, this is a flashback.
Yeah, it's a flashback
like,
from this
from
old lady.
Old lady telling
talking
her...
to the Grimms.
Which, like, I thought it was her, and then...
I think I thought it was her for a long time, and then, yeah. But...
It's her...
I think
granddaughter?
When I looked up when the Grimms were, or when the Grimms movie came out, and I realized that it was like 300 years later. I don't know.
Yeah,
like the Grimms are.
But like even watching it this time, I thought it was her at the beginning, and then at the end when she just says that it's her great grandmother or whatever.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Melanie Lynskey, who I think this is our first, but we'll get to more of her as the best friend.
Yeah. And I mean,
soon-ish.
Hopefully at some point we'll get her as the lead, because man, I would watch the heck out of her.
I know. So this
a romantic lead.
So we watched this while interspersed with watching season 1 of Last of Us. So that it was a interesting comparison.
Indeed, the range of Melanie Lynskey.
Yeah, she's the best. Put her in more things that are romantic, so we can watch them and not cannibalism or mushroom zombies.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, we've got the super nice father who dies.
Yeah, he's so nice. Like,
yeah, he's like delightful.
You know, overly
but too nice because then he gets taken advantage of by Angelica Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got a prince who doesn't want to be a prince or do what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's kind of a selfish jerk, but he's hot. So. Yeah. She's so headstrong and so opinionated. So obviously, she's Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like,
she reads. Oh my god.
She reads and she has opinions. Yeah.
We've got a wise old man in Da Vinci.
Yeah. Da Vinci.
Why is he there? Doesn't matter. He's the best.
It's like hand waved about, and it's very odd. It always gives me vibes of, there's a bunch of holodeck episodes of Star Trek Voyager where she's like, where Janeway is like an assistant in Da Vinci's workshop.
Oh yeah,
it's very odd.
Sure,
it's very, very odd, and yeah, but it's kind of like that same vintage of Da Vinci, like older Da Vinci, and it's so weird. And I feel like in that movie it's played by Jonathan Rhys-Davies, but I could be wrong. Or in that TV show. Yeah, we've got a random male best friend who's really just there for plot reasons.
Yeah, like I don't know why he's male. I think probably because he can just get places.
Because he can get stuff and he can do things and he has access.
Things.
That's what I meant by plot reasons, is like... Yeah.
It also helps showcase how not like other girls she is. Because she races her best friend who's a boy and can beat him. So therefore she's...
Yeah, and like she has a friend who's a boy, but she doesn't want to marry him.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously different worlds. Obviously. Because we spend a long time trying to figure out if she was noble blood, because Angelica is a countess, but that's from her first marriage, not from her marriage to Danielle's father. He was just a rich guy, businessman.
Yeah.
No, she was a baroness. Danielle calls herself the countess, blah, 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 after her mom, but she just, like, gives her mom a title. She's not actually
a countess. Yeah, I got confused because, she uses her mom's name and then puts countess in front of it, not that when she uses her mom's name, her mom was a countess. Yeah.
So she's not of noble blood.
Yeah.
Because like halfway through the whole thing, we're like, why is this a problem? Why is she a servant if she... it was a whole thing. Anyway.
Yeah, so I think it was her dad was like wealthy enough to own a house but not have a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which leads us to mistaken identity, because she pretends to be noble and pretends to be a different person for the prince.
Yeah, and he doesn't really pay attention enough to notice the obviousness of that.
Yeah.
And then that leads to miscommunication, because he's just so in love with the idea of her and what she made him that he doesn't listen to her or notice that she's been whipped a bunch of times, basically.
Yeah. They do have a fun meet cute. I guess they kind of have two, because they have the first one where she knows.
Yeah, she throws the apples at him.
Yeah, she throws apples and she's like out I don't know, tending goats and pigs or something. And then they meet again when the first time she pretends to be the Countess. Yeah.
He's got a deadline to find a bride.
Yeah. And guess what? It's at midnight.
It is, of course. And they fall in love quickly.
Yep, because deadline to find a bride.
Uh-huh. And, again...
there's a big ball.
It's a big ball at the climax.
At midnight.
It's almost like a Cinderella.
It's almost, the original midnight deadline big ball trope thing. Yeah, and she runs in the rain while crying and covered in glitter.
Mm-hmm. And then he runs out of his wedding to the crying Spanish girl.
Yeah.
To save her. But she rescues herself.
She does, which is the best trope.
I agree.
Okay. Does this movie pass the Bechdel test?
Yeah, it does. Which is also why I love it so much. She talks a lot about running the house with her servant old ladies, and she talks to Nolan Lewinsky about how terrible her sisters are. Yeah.
And like she's talking about how to get out of or like improve her life aside from just marrying the prince. Like she falls for the prince not to like fix her life.
No,
but because she falls in love.
Yeah. Then there's other parts where she's talking about how she wants to do like something in order to buy the house.
And like figuring out how to make money. And,
if they leave and move to the palace, like if her stepsister marries the prince, then she can do something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, like until she fell in love with the prince, she was totally fine with that plan, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, let's make a pie.
Okay.
So, yes, we should start with the smallest slice.
Smallest slice.
0% French accents.
Uh-huh. Nary a French word in this movie set in France.
No, I was like, is it supposed to be set in France? Yeah. So yeah, we'll give that 0%. I don't know how we'll put it on the thing, but Lindsay will make it work. Yeah.
Okay. Next, slightly larger pie slice. Bonnie Bell glitter.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably not Bonnie Bell, but like what we got sold to us was Bonnie Bell, so that's what we're going with.
There was definitely Claire's and or whatever, Bonnie Bell, something. There was like branded glitter that was a cross promo of Ever After and whatever the brand was.
That you could read about in YM.
In the Bonnie Bell level of makeup.
Yeah.
40?
Yeah. Because that's what I think of when I think of this movie.
Yeah, okay. Angelica Houston's amazing eyebrow.
Oh my god.
I mean, they're both great, but like movie. one of them really steals the show.
Yeah. Arch is like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. 15?
Sure.
Or 20?
20. Yeah.
20% Angelica's eyebrow.
Headpieces.
They do have so many like headbands and
like hair bags that are beaded that are fascinating to me.
Because at this time, because of like for religious reasons, basically women covered their hair in public to some extent.
Yeah,
and so they were like trying to do a nod to that, but also like sell accessories at Claire's or whatever the store
and
was.
To have them look pretty. Like the bag thing was so confusing. Like, how did you just like stick it in there loose? That would have been so hard to get out.
It's just like mesh, and then you kind of like tie it around like it's like a bandana, except you can see through it.
But you can see through it. But then it would just get so tangly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I think you like braid your hair before you do it.
Sure.
I don't know. 15%?
Mm-hmm. Which leaves us with 25 for anachronisms. Which is good.
You knew it was coming.
Oh, yeah. They play rock, paper, scissors.
Multiple times. Yeah, it wasn't quite to the level only because it's not like a corsety time of clothing, but there was a lot of décolletage, but there wasn't corsets on bare skin level of anachronism.
No.
But yeah, there was a lot of décolletage, like fancy dresses on bare skin. Like they would wear shifts underneath things because they only had baths like twice a year.
I know. Maybe. Like there's in the beginning when the nice dad dies and Angelica's running towards her, she lifts up her skirts and she's wearing full sets of pants. Like she's wearing a full undergarments, underwear.
Like
I don't know.
Pantaloons? I don't know.
I guess so, but they're like all the way down. They're basically like slacks, but and so I'm like that. But that's because she had that scene. Like she had to lift up her skirts to run, so they had to show her wearing.
But then, like
her
all the
undergarments.
fancy the fancy dresses, there was a whole lot of décolletage.
Even when Drew takes her dress off to climb the tree, she's wearing a full, like, frumpy white thing. And I'm like, there's no way that would fit under the dress that you're wearing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just the fashion, plus all the other ones. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lindsay, what do you think is next for them?
Well, they lived happily ever after, because that's how it works.
It's a Cinderella story.
Yeah. But, like, I'm into it. They did, like, he kind of sorted himself out eventually.
Yeah.
He was a dickhead a little bit, but then...
Well, yeah, because he was just being the selfish prince that he's been encouraged to be his whole life.
Yeah, and, like, the whole point is that she taught him to be better, and he was so excited that he was being better, he didn't know how to look at her and her experiences, but then he figured that out near the end, so...
Yeah, I'm good with it. I feel like, she'll make good changes to the world. I don't know. Yeah. And then, Lindsay, what's next for us?
We're getting a little bit silly.
A little bit silly.
Our first of many, I was looking at the list today, months of the exact same movie, but it's 2 movies theme. So this one is First Daughter. Is that which one of them is called?
I think so.
And one of them is Chasing Liberty. The other one, we looked this up when we were talking about it on the Patreon, I think is First Daughter.
Yeah. Chasing Liberty and First Daughter.
Katie Holmes, Mandy Moore, Riley's there. Yeah. Michael Keaton's in one of them. That's all I got.
Yeah. But now that I'm looking at the calendar, before that, we have one more Drew Barrymore.
Yes, that's true. We do.
Movie for you.
Which is Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch.
The Drew Barrymore one. Not the Colin Firth
one.
That would make sense.
The other Drew Barrymore baseball one.
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our episode. We would love if you could leave us a rating or a review wherever you get your podcast, and you can find us on social media at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Threads, and Charts and Hearts on Twitter.
You can also head to our website, chartsandhearts.com, where you can submit your suggestions for rom-coms and tropes for us to add to the list. We are planning another Cinderella month in the future, so if you have one that's not Brandy's Cinderella or Hilary Duff's Cinderella, let us know, because we've all those other got are like just Disney's Cinderella, and there's not a lot to talk about there. Anyway, and also other movies and tropes. Yes. You can also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub. For this month, we did Going the Distance, which was a fun conversation about an interesting movie.
Yep. Yeah. And we would love to know your thoughts on this movie. Did you also watch it while applying glitter and drinking with your university friends? In the meantime, yes, I shall go down in history as the man who opened a door.
Yay, best line ever!